everybody. Donald, Top Wolf 1964 here. Welcome to AroundTheCabin.com, and today we're going fishing. Oh, but wait a minute. Before we take off on our fishing adventure, just want to go back to the basic 101 fishing. Maybe some tips, some tricks in this video to show you. So stay tuned, and I'll show you what I carry in my tackle box. Hey everybody, bear with me. I do have a new camera, so bear with me on some adjustments on that every now and then. But let's get on with what I carry in my tackle box for my basic 101 fishing. You don't need a big 15 tray storage container when just getting started out with. Just need your basic little tackle box. Got maybe one or two trays in it. My particular one has one with a larger compartment on the bottom, so this holds all my basic needs for catching panfish and the local bass here in Central Florida. And as always, these tips and tricks and what I carry is what works for me here in Central Florida. If you live in the Antarctica, of course, you have to search out your local Antarctic fishing for that. But this is your basic fishing, your 101. If you have a fall or a summertime, this will work for you. It may help with your fishing tactical attack on your local fish, if you want to say it. Maybe add a couple of these in there to help you out. It's all about fun and catching fish, and fun is being, of course, the first part. But moving on to what tackle. Small box, nothing really big. First thing you're going to want to have on you, let me move this out the way, is some sort of, I call it my fish towel, some sort of rag. I usually hang off the side to help keep your hands clean. When you're digging, I fish with live worms 90% of the time, live minnows the other times, and not much on artificial for my panfish, and naturally the bass. We'll hit on that down here in Central Florida. So just a little towel to keep your hands clean as possible. You want to keep your equipment in the best shape possible. You may be in a survival situation. It may be a bug out situation when you don't know when you're going to make it back, but keep your equipment maintained and working properly. So let's get started. Let's get my box opened up here. First thing out of the box, going with hygiene. I put these wet ones in. Help sanitize your hands. You can use the little squirt hand sanitizers. These wet ones work great if I have to actually wipe down something, a rod or something, hands or a knife or something. I'll have, can use this to wipe it down with. We got a notepad and a pen, my basic my fishing log. I don't know if y'all can see the writing or not, but my fishing log, when it started, yada yada yada. The equipment I currently have and using, I got listed, and like on my first day, the kind of fish I caught, how many, keepers, catch and release. I'm a big advocate of catch and release. I have already caught my big bass for the first half of the year. So for the bass, I always like to put back, not unless you're in a survival situation, and then again it's a different ball game. You'll end up keeping those, but I've been targeting bluegill, so I'm having fun with that. What kind of bait I used: live worms, type of hooks, the bobber sets, you know, how deep, the weather and the time, you know, all in a little all in a fishing journal here to help you keep track. Catch more fish for the following season, seeing what you did, what works and what doesn't work, so to speak. Of course, a fishing regulation quick handbook and guide. Said I'm here in Central Florida. Rules and regulations here, even in Florida, jump from basically lake to lake, believe it or not. Area you travel 25 miles and you're already into different regulations. So a regulation book to help keep you up to your regulations. Of course, naturally, little tips in there for you. Just your local regulation books, and this one happens to have freshwater fish on it, guide to help some of the newer people out here identifying fish. So fishing regulations, and always get your proper fishing license when you're out there fishing. And once again, if you're in survival mode, you know what, I don't have a fishing license, I'm gonna fish. But you know, different scenarios, that's just me. You may want to go by the law, but yeah, just some sort of fishing guide for you. Map of the area and whatnot. Fishing map. Trying to keep the ants away off the table. I use a couple different size and shape bobbers, depending on how the fish are acting. and whatnot. I've been this season been using the small bobber, and this is a weighted bobber. It helps when you're doing the ultralight fishing and casting. These bobbers have a small weight on the bottom, so you don't have to add a weight to the line. The less weight and the less devices you have on your line, of course, the more fish you'll catch, because fish are smart, you know, they pick up on these things. So a couple of varieties of bobbers I have, depending on the target of fish, and basically you're doing the fish are picky, so got a couple different weights, sinkers as you may call them. These are split shots. It may be a super windy day, you may have to add some sort of weight sinker to your line, so always a couple different options to have. You gotta give yourself multiple options. I use different size hooks, 4, 6, and 8. There's a 4. Get these out. Sometimes there's like a 6. There's an 8. I know it's probably real super hard to see, but the number 6s have been working great for me, is what I've been using. I've caught my panfish and I've caught my bass on these. You don't need a real super sized big hook to catch a decent sized bass, which I'll show you in a picture sometime in this video. But this will probably be the biggest hook I'll ever use. If I'm hitting on some big bass all the time, I will switch and use the biggest hook that I carry. In doing so, what I also like to carry are these sewing. Sorry if this is not coming out too good, but these sewing thread, these needles that you thread your line through, I use them for my hooks because I'm getting old, my eyesight's going, got glasses, but you know, with these they help with threading my line through my hook eye. Little tip there, a little trick. So if you're losing your eyesight, guys, go to your the sewing department and get some of those threaders, minus the B. But that'll help you get your hook on the line. What I got next? Next, there's carry a practice lure, lightweight. I'm using ultralight and light action rods and reels, so I can go out in my backyard, front yard. I can practice casting, practice my the proper casting technique on a spinning reel, which I'll show you later. So some sort of plastic, just for testing and practicing your casting. I don't use with artificials much, but I got some jig heads with some hooks. some artificial, couple different colors of artificial grubbies. Like I said, panfish and bass will hit these. This is basically for backup if the fish are real finicky and not hitting the live worms. Then you can always throw the plastic stuff out there for them. So always good to have. A couple different colors and varieties of plastics. In my box I keep my folding fillet knife. Always good to have a fillet knife to have with you. If you're doing a meal on the bank, well then you'll have a way of properly cleaning the fish and getting the most meat off your fish that you can. So I always like to keep a little folding fillet knife with me for that task. This goes in hands with keeping your equipment maintained. Oil your equipment. This is synthetic real oil from Penn. It's real good stuff. Use it all the time. Keep your equipment running smooth as you can. You catch more fish, believe it or not. You don't take care of your equipment, your reel gets all gummy and it's hard to set a hook and feel the fish. And just keep your reel in top shape. Excuse me. I got a tape measure. I wouldn't use the tape measure if I'm in a survival situation, but it's not always about survival when you're out there just fishing, having fun. Rules and regulations. The tackle box does have a small gauge on it, ruler as you may say, but have some sort of way of measuring your fish and keeping the legal ones and releasing the ones that are not, and keep you out of jail. What else I got here? Got a little multi-flat tool here. It's got a knife, it's got a screwdriver and a couple little sockets there. It's got a little can opener here, a little prier, just to have a little backup. You never know. It's small, it's light, and it fits in the box. Why not? Alrighty, so that's pretty much the top of my box as it sits right now. Moving on to the bottom part of the box, there's fishing gloves. Always nice to have, handling fish, handling the super slimy catfish if you get catfish on your line or something. A good pair of gloves, always nice to have for cutting. When you're filleting, gloves are nice to have. To keep your digits all intact so you can catch more fish. Sunglasses, a good pair of polarized sunglasses is always a must. Cuts the glare down on the water so you can see into the water, you can see the fish, helps you see the fish. Also here in Florida, it helps you see the gators. because when you're fishing these lakes and these banks, these gators like to lay close offshore, as they say, so you want to be able to spot the alligators, so you keep your feet underneath you. So a good pair of shades, polarized, so you can spot them fish, spot them gators to stay out of harm's way. So, and these happens to be the spider wire polarized options. Moving on. The fish. This is a fish power bait. This is a fish attractor. When the fish gets too finicky out there for me, I don't use it all the time. Use it a couple times when the fish really get hard to catch. They like to spit the bait out more. A power bait like this will attract the fish and says they will hold on to the bait longer, so help you get that hook set. So when the fish are real finicky, got some power bait. Always good to have. Don't use it all the time, but I have it in case I do need it. Ants. I got me an extra spool with me in case the one on my reel happens to malfunction. This is my Fluger one. I went to get some spare parts online, but by the time I got to the checkout in the cart with some ball bearings, some springs, a couple gears, and like a handle, I can just buy another whole reel for the same price. So I kind of scrapped that cart. So if you do shop for parts for your reel, it's always good to have. But I'm gonna go ahead and get me another whole reel to have, because it's just wound up being cheaper. Good to have spare parts. Backup fishing pliers in general. I always have my Leatherman with me at all times. So I use my Leatherman as my main. I got a backup here in case to have. So pliers, good to remove hooks, and put your weight on the line. Crimpers, always good to have. I got a couple spare rigs here. This here's a little spinning rig already set with plastic, artificial, and this here's a crappie rig ready to go. I just got to tie the line to it, and this one actually has 2 hooks on it. Twice the bait in the water, twice the hooks in the water, twice the chance of catching a fish. Good stuff to have in case the fish are real picky. Nothing wrong with that. I carry, and I had made a little fishing kit, emergency type. When I do go out, this gets clipped on my side in case I lose a hook, I lose a bobber, sinkers. in case I need to add a sinker out there, use the whole rig. I got an extra artificial rooster tail in there as well. Just you know, extra bobbers. Just a little kit I put with me on my side, so I have for emergency fixes, so I don't have to, although it's not a big tackle box that I'm carrying, I can walk away and fish, you know, 50 yards ashore, and I still have a kit with me, a repair kit, at all times. Being with that, also have a couple extra spools of fishing line. I got run 6-pound line with my panfish and my bass setup that I'm currently using. I have ultimate mono and I have braid. Braid is going to go on my new reel that I just got. Braid is a lot stronger for abrasions if you're fishing heavy cover, down trees and stuff like that, stuff that the fish are going to pull you into and possibly cut you off. Braid is a bit stronger for that, and that will be going on my new fishing reel. So a couple, I got an extra spool in case one of those big fish, you know, the fish that you get all the time that will spool your reel, you got backup. Fits in the tackle box just nicely. And with that, I got snacks, of course. Got some oysters, smoked oysters. I got some mussels, crackers to go with that. You know, you always need a snack when you're out there, you're away from camp or whatever. And got some hot sauce to go with that. So a little snack to have out there while you're fishing. And it just fits nicely in my tackle box currently. So nothing wrong with carrying a little bit of extra snacks. Other than that, that's what I carry in my little fishing box. Strongly recommend polarized glasses to see the fish and to see the dangers in the water. Strongly recommended to have. Oh, other than that, let's get on to how to properly cast a spinning reel. So stay with me and we'll be back.